KLM14, Mike, clear to Edinburgh, squawk 3747.
Squawk 3747, KLM for Mike. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway 24, TCAS, TARA.
Isn't it great that there is yet another way to avoid the mouse in the sim? Well, I recently got contacted by RTR Hobby again to do a review about the Rowsfire A113 TCAS panel for the Airbus A320 family, and this is exactly what we're gonna do today. So let's take a closer look. So I'm gonna start with a quick unboxing. The first thing you will see is this message, which practically means that you need to scan this QR code to get the MobiFlight configuration files. You don't need to do that. I'm gonna put the links in the description, and a manual which you could or can read if you want, but we're gonna go through every single detail that is important. Let's put these aside. There is the USB type A to USB-C connector, which has this texture on the cable, which helps preventing damage on the cable. I really like that. And finally, the piece of hardware, this one right here. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that it really has some weight on it. It doesn't feel cheap, you know, it has some weight on it. Might have to do with this metal casing, full metal casing. This black backplate is definitely 3D printed, you can tell by the texture. The blue plate might be 3D printed, but it doesn't feel like it. I mean, the labels have some kind of texture on them, it feels nice. The buttons are also definitely 3D printed. This knob controls the floodlight in the aircraft. These switches have a really nice resistance on them. I really like that. Like this, as well as these switches too. And here, these buttons feel nice. The ident button, your squawk code display, and these two buttons, which I really don't know what they are for. I don't even know if Phoenix have simulated them. I would guess so. What I would have liked would be a second knob on this position to maybe control the integrated lighting in the aircraft. But it's a nice piece of hardware. Oh, and by the way, you could use these holes to attach it to some kind of table mount if you have one. So they definitely thought of this as well. So the next thing we're gonna do is take a look at it at the PC, how to configure it, how to install it, because there is one small detail, one small catch that you need to consider if you use this with another Rowsfire product. Alright, you're on the PC, and as soon as you scan the QR code, if you're fast enough, or click the link in the description, you will see this MobiFlight user guide folder in Google Drive. Open it, you will have two additional folders. The required software, which is FSU IPC7, and the MobiFlight connector. I would suggest to install them from the official sites. For MobiFlight, do not install the beta version. I'm gonna tell you in a bit why. And when you're done, go to the configuration file and download this MCC file. This is the MobiFlight configuration file. Now, I did a hardware review from Rowsfire in the past. The overhead panel, the small one, they had configuration files as well, and they had different versions. They had a version 1 for the Phoenix, a version 2, and even a version 3, which is not available anymore. And if you take a look at the format of version 3, this looks like kind of a JSON structured file, whereas version 2 is XML. Why is that important? Well, because the TCAS panel has an XML structured file as well. And if you want to use both hardwares, you would have to merge them both, which is not possible in MobiFlight Beta. That's why I said do not install the beta version. So when you're done installing the required software, connect your hardware to your PC. And as you can see, I don't have a free spot on my table mount, which made me use these WinWing stickers to place it
on my desk. And if you're done doing that, open up the MobiFlight connector, because we need now to load the configuration file for this board. If you see something like that, this is in my case the overhead panel from Rowsfire, just click assign and hit OK. Then when you are in the main view of the MobiFlight connector, click on File, Open, and load the TCAS configuration file, which is this one. You might be asked again about some orphan serials. Just use the same matched serial model. Assign it, hit OK, and now if you click on test, you should see some lights turning on and flashing on the TCAS display, as you can see right now. So if you don't have any other additional hardware, you are basically done. You can start the sim and start flying. If you have additional hardware from Rowsfire, you need to use the other one as well. But the problem is, if you open it, you would close this one. So the trick is to click on File, Merge, and use this overhead panel configuration file. Open it again, match the same model, assign, hit OK. Let's run the test again. Now I can see the overhead panel is flashing and the TCAS panel is flashing as well. If you want to use both, you are basically done. The only thing you need to do is hit save, and this configuration is now used for both hardwares. Alright, we're in the sim, and I chose nighttime specifically to show you the backlighting of this hardware. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is the integrated lighting, and if I crank it up all to the max, you can see it gets bright as well. And this is what I meant by, if they would have put this integrated lighting button right here, this would be much easier to control the backlight of the TCAS panel as well. But I think the main reason was to resemble the original thing in the aircraft with these two buttons. Alright, so let's see the floodlight, how this actually works out. This is working as well. These are the buttons that I mentioned I have absolutely no idea about. Here, this one is really fast response time. It's like real time, you know. The same goes for this button, and let's see those buttons as well. Everything clicks nice. The resistance, like I said before, is really good. Now let's click the ident button and let's clear this one, put some squawk code on it, clear again, and then put this squawk code on it. Well, it works pretty much good. Okay, now that we have taken a look at the hardware and that it actually works, how much does it cost? Well, this piece is for about $170, which is around 140 euros. In my opinion, a little bit expensive, given the fact that you only need this piece a couple of times during a normal operations flight. But oh surprise, I got a discount code for you. If you put the code DroneSim in the checkout, you can save around 15%, which brings you to a total amount of $144 or 120 euros. Your decision. Flight simming is a beautiful hobby. I think we can all agree on that, and I like to participate by doing these kind of reviews and help you guys make that decision, no matter what you choose. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Happy flying, stay safe, and as always, see you in the next one.